Hey everyone, Matt is back for another review of Ninjago Dragons Rising. This time it's Season 2, Part 1. So let's begin because I don't want this review to be over 2 hours like the previous one, and hopefully I won't do that this time. The Season 2 premiere is The Blood Moon. Is that the same thing as Legend of Chima? Because I remember in episode Legend of Chima, The Blood Moon. Yeah, I remember like there's this moon thing that causes the wolves to go crazy. Yes, I remember. Okay, I'm looking up on the Ninjago wiki right now, and it says that the Wolf Clan draws its strength from the Blood Moon. However, the Blood Moon is said to occur only once every few thousand years, and it's not a source of power. So I guess that is the same thing as Legend of Chima. No, it's that's the 100-year moon. The 100-year moon causes wolves to go into a frenzy. Okay, so that's a completely different thing. Okay, well, now with that out of the way, yeah. So Ross and Jordana are still together, and they're in the wilderness. No, they're in the Wyldness. I don't know why they like the show goes into the wildness yet doesn't mention or show Chima. They literally mention the Forever Rock here, like, and it's like the Forever Rock. Come on, that's like one of the few locations from Chima that I still remember all these years later, and you won't show the floating island in the sky. I just is it like a is it a problem with like the rights or something? I just don't get it. Yeah, it's like they're wasting their true potential here, ironically, by not bringing the characters from Chima back. So they're in the Forest of Spirits looking for a temple with a wolf head on it. The wolf tribe does not appear, so like they find this temple, and they're planning for, like I said earlier, the Blood Moon. Also, they use the Source Dragon energy to open the doors. That's what they needed it for, but you cut to the ninja like saving people all across the crossroads. It's being recorded on social media, like on like phones and stuff. So people are excited that the ninja are back. We even get some cameos from from some previous villains, Fugitive and the mechanic. Yeah, so I'm happy that they made cameos. And also weird enough is that Ryu, like the little baby dragon, remember him? He's huge now. Like how much time has gone by where this baby dragon is now? I think they mentioned him being like a teenage dragon or something. It's like, how is he a teenage dragon? He was a baby dragon in season 1. He's a teenage dragon in season 2, and nobody else looks any different. Yeah. So Aaron and Sora, they receive a message from Creel for their assistance, and they want to go. And then they come across Lloyd, and Lloyd's like sleeping in the training course, and the thing is like Lloyd is like super fatigued at the beginning of season 2 because of both training and his responsibilities. Once again, going back to a complaint I had with season 1, part 2, where it's like, why does he feel the need to put so much pressure on his shoulders when he has literally a team of ninja to help him with everything? But then he has a vision. Yeah, he has he catches on the floor and has like this nightmare vision foretelling the Blood Moon and future events, like a big battle, and he's like, oh, this is the worst one yet, meaning that he's had a lot of these recently. And so Lloyd's been seeing more and more visions in between season 1 and 2, and we get a nice bonding moment between Lloyd and Aaron where they discuss like their worries. It's like Lloyd's always worried about the future, and Aaron's like, oh, I'm worried about my parents. So it's a good bonding moment between master and apprentice. Yeah, so Aaron's like tells him that to just ignore the dreams because that's what they are, just dreams. Like they're not visions of the future or anything. But it's pretty clear that they are. The problem with Creel and her junkyard is that she tells Aaron Sora that she thinks somebody's been breaking in at night and searching for something. They haven't stolen anything, but they've clearly moved stuff around. Like they are looking for something. And Aaron and Sora, they don't believe her at first. They decided to look around for evidence. So they ask around at other shops who have also had things, who have also been broken into, but nothing's been stolen. And they start thinking maybe there's a ghost going around. So the idea is that there's a new antiques emporium opening up, and so Aaron predicts that this antiques emporium is where the ghost, the night ghost is what they call it. That's where he'll strike next. And while they're waiting at night for the ghost to strike, Eren and Sora have a heart-to-heart, which is another thing that I really liked in this episode. Eren's self-conscious over not having any powers or improving with his training fast enough to learn how to transfer spinjitzu to objects. But, Sora gives him encouragement by saying that, his flaws aren't necessarily a weakness. With her example being her inability to learn spinjitzu. That's another thing that I like about Eren and Sora, is that they even each other out. Eren doesn't have any elemental powers, but he can do spinjitzu, or at least a rough version of spinjitzu at this point, while Sora, she's incredibly smart, and she has elemental powers, but she can't do spinjitzu, so they work well together. But while they're talking, the ghost goes into the Emporium. Just a heads up, this person was previously shown being with Ross and Jordana, he's a new recruit for them. And while it's not clear who it is, this person can turn into a puff of smoke. And so that's how he keeps getting in and out of these buildings without being seen. And it's revealed that he's the elemental master of smoke, but that makes me wonder, what happened to the previous elemental master of smoke? Yeah, Ash. Yeah, Ash was, he premiered in Master Chen's Tournament of Elements. And looking at his picture of Ash now, yeah, he looks pretty similar to Cinder, but it's what happened to Ash? Is Ash Cinder's father or something? I don't know, that's just one thing. So Ash is gone, the original elemental master of smoke is MIA, possibly KIA. And now his relative Cinder, who is a bad guy, is now the new elemental master of smoke. Because I guess it can't be two of them at the same time, even though Kai and Nia are the elemental masters of fire and water, and their parents, I think, are still around, unless they died at some point in between the series. Even though they existed at the same time in the original series. Whatever. So, Eren and Sora, they fight the elemental master Smoke, whose name is Cinder. I kind of spoiled that for myself a bit there. I mean, I knew what his name was, but I don't think at this point the show revealed his name. The thief has backup with two people wearing wolf masks. And the same wolf masks that were at Jordana and Ross's temple, the temple that they're at. And Lloyd shows up, and he has a panic attack as soon as he sees the wolf masks. He recognizes them from his dream. And so the thieves, Cinder and the wolf masks, they are able to escape because Lloyd wasn't able to stop them in time because he was still shocked by that. And what did they steal? A mallet. At least I have it down as a mallet in my notes. It might be something else. It might be something else completely different, or called something else completely different later in my notes. So Lord Ross, he uses this mallet on a gong, and it makes all these other people, wolf masks, start to glow with power. So it's uh-oh. And then we have episode 2, Shattered Dreams. This starts out in the Cloud Kingdom with the Riders of Destiny, and they try to come up with fun new hobbies now that they know that they can do stuff other than just, write their whole lives, which is something from season 1, where it's oh, you don't have to spend so much time writing everyone's destinies. I'm well, I mean, if that's their whole purpose in life is to write destinies, and then they stop doing that, isn't that something for concern? The person writing, how your life goes, so he stops. Are you just gonna, not know what to do anymore? I mean, I guess it's sort of it's free will versus free will being an illusion, and it's trying to say that there is free will, and you don't have to have somebody controlling you your whole life. But I still find it concerning that the people that are in charge of writing everyone's destinies are taking kind of a break from that. Also, really, they didn't have hobbies before? At some point, the quills stop producing ink, which doesn't happen unless something bad is about to happen. And then Ross's forces appear in a cloud of smoke, and they take over the Cloud Kingdom. And then, we cut to Imperium and Percival, the kid that was the leader of the teen force, or whatever. He's I guess the leader of Imperium now, because he's like giving orders to all these adults. And so like they're all celebrating that Empress Beatrix is gone. They're gonna open up their borders to Ninjago, but then Euphrasia, the Elemental Master Wind, crashes down from the Cloud Kingdom. Yeah, she's asking for the ninja. I mean, I don't know if she asks for that in that specific instance, but it's like it's like it's obviously trouble. And at the monastery, Lloyd is finishing telling the ninja about the nightmares of the wolf masks, and that's how they all figure out that his nightmares are actually visions. Yadoy. Their next plan of action is finding out what Lord Ross wants the mallet for, so Lloyd, Aaron, Zane, and Sora go back to the antique shop to ask its owner, Fejulian, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Fejulian, why it was so special, but Fejulian, turns out to be a very sketchy Merlopian and doesn't give them any answers. And also, I made a comment that there's a weird revelation that Aaron is a little too trustworthy of people, so he takes Fejulian at his word. It's like he's so nice that he can't tell someone is lying. I didn't recall if any previous episode really dived into that, where he was trusting the wrong people. So I don't know if that escaped my memory, but in hindsight, after watching all of season 2 and season 3, Aaron becoming way too trustworthy, being way too trustworthy of people, especially people he should not trust at all, is actually pretty good setup for his character later on. So that's actually pretty good in hindsight. My thing is that Aaron is still a kid, but I think he is old and mature enough to read people unless he's on the spectrum, like I am, which is possible. Yeah, so I was defending him in the notes a bit, so I wasn't certain how trustworthy, how trusting Aaron is of other people. So the ninja follow Julian and see him contact a Serpentine named Hantro to tell her the ninja were asking about the mallet. And Sora recognizes the area where Hantro is because she sees some of her own past graffiti behind her. I'm not showing you a picture of it, but it's supposed to be a cap, but it just looks like a plate of spaghetti and meatballs. I don't know if that's what's intentional. So they run into Hantro at her place, and I swear that I saw Nadakon's evil lamp. The lamp that he's trapped in. So I don't know if she actually has the lamp, or that's just an Easter egg. That's just a lamp that looks like it. But maybe something will come of that in a later season. So it turns out that Hantro and Julian's got this scheme where she nabs, possibly valuable artifacts to sell for money. She doesn't really steal them. She just finds them as after the merge, a whole bunch of stuff got scattered everywhere. Tells them the mallet is for the Gong of Shattering, a supposed myth from the Wyldness that when hit gives people dark powers and shatters the goodness within them if they are wearing a wolf mask. So that's another thing that's important throughout the season, is that whenever you wear a wolf mask, and you get powered from the Gong of Shattering, part of your goodness gets split from you. You lose part of who or whatever you are. So after this revelation, Percival brings Euphrasia to the monastery to see the ninja, who tells them a flashback that she tried fighting back Ross's forces, but got knocked off the Cloud Kingdom by Cinder, and so the ninja fly to Cloud Kingdom. And I remember, while they're on the journey, Aaron, makes a comment that he's like, "Oh, I trade my grappling hook gun for an elemental power." I'm like, what? No! Your grappling hook gun is awesome. Why would you trade it for an elemental power? The thing is awesome. So when they get there, the wolf masks are using the Writers of Destiny to translate a lost evil language that were found on these scrolls that were in the temple that Ross and Jordana entered last episode. They were looking through these scrolls and they couldn't understand any of it. But I guess the Writers of Destiny know how to translate scrolls. So Kai, I believe he frees the Master Writer, and the Master Writer tells them that when Ross and Jordana entered the archives, Ross revealed he was the one who cursed those creepy scroll worms, in season 1, when he asked them a question and suddenly a specific question, and then they all turn red and start like wrapping people up. Like he was the one who did that. So like, oh, I thought that was cool that they revealed why they did that. And the Master Eye tells the ninja that the scrolls are part of a ritual involving the Blood Moon, which would resurrect the Forbidden Five, which are 5 evil and corrupted elemental masters from thousands of years ago. So, those characters are going to be important later on. The ninja gets discovered. Lloyd gets another panic attack at seeing the wolf masks. And, the ninja and the wolf masks fight. And Lloyd is able to get over it and, join the fight. And there's another, there's another reference to the ongoing gag that Sora does not she doesn't recognize Jordana, even though Jordana sees herself as Sora's arch nemesis. It's like, how do you not know who I am at this point? It's like, I don't know, you just got a very forgettable face, forgettable name, forgettable personality. You don't stand out. It's so... I relate to that so much. I struggle remembering people's names when I start getting to know them. It's like the show was written just for me. I also I find the idea of a one-sided rivalry very funny. So Ross, hits the gong with the mallet, and the wolf masks have glowing eyes and mouths and claws come out of their gauntlets. And honestly, I found it to be a pretty underwhelming evil power. Like, I don't know, I feel like that they could have done something a little bit more creative with it, but I don't know. Those masks could at least turn the wearers into werewolves or something. Like, that would be cool. That would have been cool. But with no technology, Sora finds that she's not much help in this battle. Kai acknowledges Ash, like, in a reference when he's talking to Cinder, like, oh, you're not the first elemental master smoke that I fought. Like, oh, okay, you acknowledged him. Where is he? It annoys me that Ninjago Dragons Rising will bring back some characters from the original series, but also not even reference what happened to other characters, like Skylar. 3 seasons, spoilers, 3 seasons in, Skylar is MIA. What happened to her? Like, where is Skylar? She and Kai were dating at some point. And so Kai defeats Cinder almost immediately. It's like, oh, okay, so that's underwhelming. It's like the previous episode made Cinder out to be a genuine threat, but I guess a punch to the face is a punch to the face. Well, after Kai has proven he's a superior fighter, Ross uses his Gone to give Cinder more power, including a darker form of Spinjitzu called Shatter Spin. Then Cinder wipes the floor with the ninja, hurting several of them and forcing them to retreat. So I guess Cinder got nerfed just to make Shatter Spin look cool, even though I guess they didn't really need to do that. Whatever, to promote evil Spinjitzu. One thing that I noticed is that Cinder just injures some of the ninja, but the sound effects of them hitting the ground makes it seem like they should be dead. The sound effects of them of his hits, their impacts. I feel like that should have broken some bones, but once again, everyone in Ninjago is semi-invulnerable. And the episode ends with Lloyd wondering who could teach them to fight against Shatterspin, and Ross is still in control of the Cloud Kingdom. Okay, so episode 3 is Beyond the Phantasm Cave. Cinder briefly taunts Jordana while he's training with his Shatterspin powers about him becoming Ross's new second in command. Oh, he favors me more than you now, and hopefully this will be a more fulfilling rivalry for Jordana than Sora is. Back at the monastery, Kai trains in his own mech suit, because I guess ninja need mech suits. Nia can't find any records of Shatterspin on the Forbidden Five. Sora builds a new gadget for herself. While this is going on, Lloyd is meditating in front of Master Wu's shrine, hoping for an answer about his visions. He does that a lot, where he goes to the shrine and hopes for some inspiration. But, nothing happens for hours. He demands answers from the source dragons, and then a bunch of tiny glowing dragons come out of the sky and go inside of him, causing him to have this vision he had, he has the same vision he had halfway through season 1, the desert and the dead ninja masks. We learn that the symbols that he saw floating in the air, they represent all the source dragons. And all the source dragons are talking to each other in this dream world. So I thought that was very cool. And they decide like whether or not they should help Lloyd. Like, we should do something. Should we do something? That's a Linkara reference if you know, if you don't know. But then one of the symbols just blasts Lloyd with power, causing him to have another vision. So it's like a vision within a vision about a door and a dragon. And then when Lloyd comes out of it, he tells Aaron and Sora that he believes the visions can lead them to an old master who can help them learn how to defeat Shatterspin. Yeah, so Wildfire, her leg was hurt in the Battle of Cinder. He tells her to rest. He tells her that the rest of the team are going on a mission. So like she's getting left behind. Apparently, Kai's mech suit can turn into a tiny disc. Yeah, that's the thing with these a lot of these gadgets or mechs or vehicles is that they're huge and they could just like condense into a tiny disc they could just put on their back. And I'm like, was that a set? Yeah, like could you build like a mech suit and then you can transform it into a disc and just like carry it around with you or something? Like otherwise, what is the point of like the discs? I guess it's just a way for them to justify like how they could have all these vehicles or like in tight spaces. Like, oh, he didn't bring a mech suit. I guess it's like a portable disc mech suit. I don't know. Magic. Yeah, magic. Lloyd tells the ninja that when they set off, they're not. He's not actually sure where they are going, but he'll know when they get there. So basically, it's sort of like trust me, bro. I know where I'm going. This direction. This direction. It's like they're letting destiny, take them wherever they're going. So it's like, seems like a really bad idea. Back in the Cloud Kingdom, Jordana smugly tells Lord Ross that she's discovered the location of where the final component is, right in front of Cinder, so I guess she reciprocates his rivalry with her, which is good, finally. A two-way rivalry. And then, Lord Ross forces the Riders of Destiny to turn an engine that allows a part of the Cloud Kingdom to move. So I guess the Cloud Kingdom really can, move in the sky. Then back on the Destiny's Bounty, Lord is unsure of himself whether he should trust his visions or not, but Nia gives him encouragement, comforting Lloyd, making sure he's not so down on himself over his confidence or lack thereof. When Wildfire comes out and reveals that she's stuck on board, so now they have an injured teammate with them. So they find this cave in the mountain. They have to get through all these traps. They have to abandon the Destiny's Bounty to go up a tunnel above them. I remember in this mountain, like I said, it's a mountain in this with a cave near the top of the mountain, and there's all these wrecked ships below them. So could all those ships fly, or were these originally near the ocean level? Was it sea level? And in the ninja, they use one of Sora's gadgets. They're grappling sticks, but the ninja can use their elemental powers with. So it's oh, that's a cool toy that for more minifigures and Lego sets. But Ryu Wildfire can't go with them, so Sora uses her powers to make another mech suit for Kai out of the parts from the wrecked ships to carry them. So he's got two mech suits, or did she combine those parts with his current mech suit? But suddenly tentacles pop out of the walls and attack them. So it's it's got a monster, and Sora's I can't help. When Aaron's in trouble, Sora can't help him because she doesn't know Spinjitzu. So I like that the show is aware of some characters' weaknesses and creates problems where the character has to find a way to get around their weaknesses, to help people. And I wrote a note here how the show acknowledges that Aaron and Sora, they acknowledge how they even each other out. So yeah, I'm on the same wavelength as the writers of this series. They all walk into a cave where they get separated by darkness and experience their greatest fears. So they go into this scarecrow fear toxin cave. I didn't write much about what their greatest fears were, but Nia, she sees a vision of Jay, who's completely forgotten her. But Nia realizes that she's not talking to Jay and wakes up discovering that they're all in some sort of sleep caused by this eldritch abomination, like this multi-eyed, tentacle floating creature. Nia's vision of Jay forgetting her, like that's great foreshadowing for the next couple seasons. They obviously were setting a lot of things up. So Nia's able to scare the creature off, or at least everyone, and they make it to the other side where there's a cliff. And Lloyd, he's like, "Oh no, I led this to the end of the cliff. Oh, why did I do that?" But Nia believes in him, so they all jump off the cliff onto a platform. And I just want to say that occasionally I felt that Nia and Lloyd have had some decent chemistry in some scenes, and it's like, I know that'd be weird since he was a little kid when she knew him, but I don't know. They're both adults now, so I'd be fine with the ship. They're never gonna get together, but I just want to say that Nia has good chemistry with Lloyd. That's my opinion. They jump on this platform covered in clouds, and then they see the metal door from Lloyd's vision, and then a dragon attacks them, and that's the end of the episode. And it is continued with Force from the East. So enough of that story for a little bit. We're going to cut to Geo and the Finders. And if there's any doubt that he and Cole are a thing, I think this episode pretty much puts it to rest with how lovey-dovey they are. Or at least how Geo talks about him, since Cole's not with them at the moment. And the Finders miss Cole, but they're making do without him until the Cloud Kingdom arrives and Ross Mask Wolf's attack. I guess I should start calling the Riders of Destiny just Cloud Monks. Wrote that as a note. Okay, sure, Cloud Monks. And luckily it's not going to be a Finders-centric episode. I like the Finders all that much, but only as a side characters. I don't want an entire episode devoted to them. I'm more interested in what the ninja are doing, especially since they're in danger. So Wildfire tries speaking dragon to the dragon, but it doesn't work. And while fighting the dragon, the ninja realized that the round boulders, there's these round boulders nearby that can be used to lower a bucket that opens the metal door. So they're tossing the tiny boulders into the bucket, and then the door opens. And once it is open, another dragon comes out, but instead of fighting, both dragons reveal that they can actually talk. They can actually speak English, or Ninjargon, I guess. They congratulate the ninja for passing the test, and also reveal that they are the Dragon Masters, the ones who will teach them the techniques that they need to defeat Shatterspin. Or at least, they can do that. They're reluctant at first to train ninja until they learn about Ross, Shatterspin, and the potential return of the Forbidden Five. And the Dragon Masters reveal that they were the ones who defeated the Forbidden Five thousands of years ago using a technique called Rising Dragon technique. And I don't have it written here, but I'm just gonna say it. The dragons' names are Egalt and Rontu. Egalt and Rontu, yes. How could I forget? And so they defeated the Forbidden Five, banished them, and then erased any mention of them in their language, so no one could bring them back. So that's why the scrolls, they had trouble translating the scrolls, because there's literally no history left on them. But yeah, I feel like that plan backfired on them, because when Ross and Jordana were able to find a way to translate the scrolls, the ninja had no way to figure out what their plan was. So, whoops. Kind of a double-edged sword with that plan, I guess. They have no idea how to stop Roz. But the Dragon Masters tell them that the wolf masks come from the Shadow Dojo, which can only be accessed with Source Dragon magic. Too bad Imperium captured the Source Dragon, and that's why Ross had access to the energy in the first place. Once again, you destroy the history to make sure that the Forbidden Five can't come back, but you leave the Shadow Dojo standing. That can only be accessed with Source Dragon energy, and apparently Source Dragons can be captured and have their energy drained from them. Once again, I feel like there were enough holes in your plan that Ross was able to use them to basically undo what you tried to do, Egalt and Rod too. You didn't want the Forbidden Five to return. Well, Ross figured out a way for them to return. So I guess geniuses thought that capturing a Source Dragon was impossible. And Egalt and Rod too, they say that they're too old to fight the Forbidden Five again, so they agree to train the ninja. Back in the land of lost things, the Finders are fighting the wolf masks, and they do a pretty good job at first. So I feel like if these wolf masks can be defeated by 2 kids and a lazy skeleton, and are only useful if they are powered up by the gong, then they aren't very good fighters. So like, where did Ross like find these guys actually? Like, were they just people he just picked up off the street? So just as the wolf masks take Bonzel, the skeleton lady, Cole comes back in a giant rock form. And he saves Bonzel and gets the Finders to cover him. So he saves Bonzel, and Bonzel isn't sure why the wolf masks want her, but she's clearly hiding something. And Jordana says that Bonzel is the key, whatever the key is. Memory is the key. That's a red versus blue reference. Memory is the key. Memory is the key. And Jordana mentions that there are potential consequences from using the Gong of Shattering too much, but I don't recall there being any actual consequences on screen. But the wolf masks are powered up again and are able to dig through the defenses. Like the wolf masks, I don't recall the wolf masks ever like overdosing on too much power. So the Finders are able to escape the land of lost things before the wolf masks get them. And they come out through the monastery portal gate, and Cole reunites with Zane finally. Yeah, because I guess like Cole and Zane didn't haven't seen each other yet. But then the wolf masks follow them through. Yeah, that's the thing, is that the Finders supposedly they can't leave the land of lost things, but then suddenly they can. It's like, huh. Like, why are we able to leave now when we weren't able to leave then? Yeah, I think that's it's gonna be revealed in a bit. But anyway, that's how the episode ends, with the wolf masks coming through the portal gate and invading the monastery. So episode 5, the spell at the waterfall. It begins with Zane from Zane and Frohicke's perspective at the end of the episode, like right before the Finders came through. I like how funny it is that Frohicke gave Zane a doll version of himself to work off any conflicts they may have in the near future, but Zane doesn't experience emotion like most people, so he doesn't understand it. It's a nice scene to show how they contrast between the characters. Like I said, Ninjago Dragons Rising knows how to have like chemistry between multiple characters, good team dynamics. It's very good with handling big, large casts of characters. But then, the Finders come through, so Zane and Cole fight off the wolf masks and send them back through the door. And then Master Wu's Force Ghost or whatever, like, secretly closes the portal gate without anyone realizing that. And so then Bonzo reveals her big, deep, dark secret. She's not actually a skeleton. She's actually a living spell in the form of a person, which is how she knew that the magic keeping the Finders in the Land of Lost Things was gone. So, I guess like she could like sense when magic is disrupted around her, since she is magic. So then Bonzo gives her origin story using a puppet show, which I guess she rehearsed. Like, are those were the puppets that she used, like, were those hers, or is she using them as a substitute? Were they just nearby? Like, she's a skeleton. Like, where does she keep stuff? I know she wears some clothes, but still. But to sum it up relatively fast, so Bonzel is a spell created by a great sorceress that the Dragon Masters used to banish the Forbidden Five. That's why Ross wants her. So, like, after the Forbidden Five were banished, she wandered the realms for centuries, and she gradually gained sentience until she met Master Wu. And it's really nice seeing him again when he's not a Force Ghost. Also, I read a note saying that the Bonzel has a puppet of Master Wu. Like, where did she get that? I know this is a cartoon, but there's parts of the logic I'm like, okay, I have to question that, like how this universe works. So they befriend each other, and Master Wu made her understand that she was lonely and inspired her to create a body for herself. And it's a very nice scene that showcases how relationships are important to Master Wu, because like he acknowledges his relationships to the ninja, like how important they are to him. So Bonzel kept traveling until she ended up in the Land of Lost Things, where she met the Finders and, well, found her family. So, like, the Finders are found family. I just got that. The Finders are found family. She didn't tell them the truth because she was afraid that they wouldn't like her, but they love her anyway. And I want to say, like, why she would think they wouldn't like her, but then again, I'm not a living spell, so I wouldn't know what that would be like. So I'm just going to take her word for it. So Zane comes to the obvious conclusion that Ross is after Bonsall because she can be used to release the Forbidden Five. So Cole thinks that they should go find Bonsall's creator, who lived in a realm called Mysterium. So they need to find out where that is in the merged realms, because there's no real map for figuring out like where everything went. Places were sort of mixed and matched together at random, like it was a Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is a DC comic book event, the greatest ever. So while this is all happening, the ninja are training together. Kai and Sora are using mech suits once again. That is exactly what ninja used to do back in like the feudal era of Japan. Maybe. I'm not good with Japanese history. At first I was wondering to myself, like, why do they have mech suits? And then I remembered, oh yeah, Lego sets. One cool thing is that Sora is able to take one of the arms from Kai's mech suit and puts it in hers, and then she can use fire. And like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, you can mix and match. I wish the show would do that more with the mech suits, but yeah, this isn't a mecha series. It's a ninja series. The Dragon Masters say that in order for the ninjas to perfect Rising Dragon technique, they need to be ranked Third Fang Ninjas. Third Fang Ninjas. I don't know what that means. Yeah, whatever that means. So the ninjas split up. Ronto is going to teach Sora and Ryu Spinjitzu, while Wildfire rests and heals because her leg still hurt. And Ronto reveals that Wildfire is the elemental master of heat. Yeah, so like they are separate, but much different from fire, supposedly. I'm like, is fire and heat really all that different? I mean, yeah, they are as concepts, but power-wise, they seem very much the same. I mean, Kai can shoot fire, and despite Wildfire being the elemental master of heat, she can also shoot fire. Like, instead of just like, blasts of heat. That actually would have been pretty cool. Microwave powers go. Like Starfire from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Right, Starfire is the Teen Titans character. Firestar is from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Sora's training includes jumping through giant rings, and I'm wondering, like, how can Sora even jump that high? I know this is a cartoon, but what is the general consensus of normal that the average person is capable of in Ninjago? It feels like everyone in some level is a superhuman. And also, like, Sora can easily jump through hoops, but Ryu can't, even though he's bigger and stronger than her. I'm not sure if he can fly or not. I think he can fly. Or he at least learns how to fly later on. So Ronto does Spinjitzu. Like, she's the big dragon, the female dragon, and she proves that dragons can do Spinjitzu, and that she wants to teach Ryu Spinjitzu, like I said earlier. And Wildfire feels left out and even tries disguising herself as a moloid so she can train, but it doesn't work because her moloid costume is not convincing at all. And while this is going on, Egalt, the male dragon, is teaching the other ninja how to fight Shatterspin, while also teaching them the importance of connecting with the motion of the universe. So, it's about connecting with motion, and the motion inside you, outside you, around you, etc. Yeah, motion is surprisingly important throughout the rest of the series that I've seen in Ninjago Dragons Rising. So they do Spinjitzu in a ring, but keep bumping into each other, and Aaron's Spinjitzu is unstable, and he loses confidence in himself, because Egalt yells at him. It's like, oh, like, you're not very good at Spinjitzu. And he's like, ah. Yeah, because he's only been able to do, like, partial Spinjitzu. It's not complete Spinjitzu. And in the Cloud Kingdom, Ross lifts up into the air, like he's possessed by Vecna from Stranger Things. He's like, oh. Or like, actually, no, it's more like his arms are, like, at his side. And, he's given instructions by his master in this dream plane. once again, is the Master the Overlord or something? That'd be very disappointing. But anyway, like Ross being lifted into the air is pretty new, and I guess it's not a more subtle way to contact Ross. I really do, like Lloyd doesn't lift up into the air whenever he gets a vision, so why does Ross get lifted up into the air? So he's ordered to sacrifice 5 of the Cloud Monks for the Blood Moon. Yeah, they need to sacrifice 5 Cloud Monks so they can get the Forbidden 5 back. And I wrote in my notes saying that the episode feels like an in-between episode to set up more important things in the next episode. Like stuff happens, but it's more about explaining than accomplishing. So it's an episode dealing with stuff that happened in the previous episode while setting up all the stuff that's going to happen in the next few episodes. It's not a filler episode, but sort of like a semi-breather episode. But episode 6 is To Mysterium. So the ninja continue their training, and Lloyd he tries to make Aaron feel better, like after storming off, with a slouch from his training in the previous episode. And Aaron doesn't think he's good enough to be a ninja, while Lloyd feels anxious because of his visions. So yeah, it's more bonding between Lloyd and Aaron. And while this is happening, Kai and Nia face off against each other. They're throwing rocks through hoops, but Egalt isn't satisfied with their lack of motion. And Sora also feels unsure of herself because she can't do Spinjitzu. So Lloyd and Aaron face off, and I like the contrast between Aaron's Spinjitzu, which looks half-formed, as I mentioned before, and Lloyd's Spinjitzu, which is all green and glowing. So Aaron loses control of his Spinjitzu and accidentally hurts Egalt. And so Aaron feels bad about this, but he gets demoted. So it kills the mood. And then at the same time as Zane and the Finders prepare to leave for Mysterium. And I like how Geo, Cole, Zane, and Bonzel are all thinking of a plan. The kids are just sitting on the couch. Fritz and Spitz, or whatever their names are, they're just playing video games on the couch, and I just realized they're just having fun. I mean, I guess they always had fun in the land of lost things, but now they don't have to worry about anything anymore. I guess it was a relatively safe place after they took care of that giant Goliath thing, the tiny little slime creature. But Bonzel's not sure if her creator is still alive. So going to Mysterium might be a dead end. And even if her creator is alive, she's not even sure that she'll help them. And I guess Spitz and Fritz, I did get their names right. Spitz and Fritz, I guess, get bored of video games, or their attention span is just really bad. Because they head down to the lower level of the monastery where they get in one of Sora's mech suits, or mech racers, and they almost kill everyone. They cause a big disaster to happen. I put in the notes here that this is what happens before it cuts to the intro and the theme song, which is kind of weird. That's kind of a weird place to sort of end that segment of the episode. And I also wonder like how did these kids survive for so long in the land of lost things if they're just gonna do something that stupid? Cole's able to help them by getting in his own mech suit. And so Sora's just building mech suits that can collapse into wearable discs for everyone then. Okay. So Geo stays behind to look after the kids while Cole, Zane, and Bonzel take Jiro and fly to Mysterium. Wherever it is. Maybe they'll use Lloyd's Navigation of Destiny to find it. Unfortunately, they don't know the crossroads like Aaron and Sora do, so they wear disguises and go to Fugitives again, that shady Merlopian, for help. And he tries selling them stuff, including Labo's disco toaster. The disco toaster comes back. Yeah, so that's gonna be a running gag every now and then. I wonder how did that end up with him? Does it just get traded around? But Fidulian, he literally coughs up a map of the merged lands and gives it to them for free. But after they leave, Fidulian contacts somebody, so obviously the ninja are going into a trap. And while flying in the direction of Mysterium, Jiro flies through a poison cloud and gets hurt, so they have to land. And they discover that the directions of the map have disappeared. So now they're in the dark, figuratively. So they decide to continue north, as they think that that's probably where Mysterium is. And it's like, but why would you think that? You were literally tricked to go into this direction. So why would you think that it was even the correct path in the first place? So they walk through the desert and come upon this well guarded by Dorama's giant puppet robot from season 1. The ninja the trio get captured, and I realize that this is the first time these characters are meeting him, like Zane, Cole, and Bonzel. Thought that was pretty cool. And it turns out that after Empress Beatrix was defeated, Dorama lost his purpose, but founded his Academy of Acting, and made a deal with Fidulian to trick people into coming to him so he could capture them for crazy stunts and performances. So he's basically torturing people and forcing them to do all these wild stuff for him, for his amusement. So Bonzel's able to escape and release everyone, while Cole activates his mech suit. Why does he have a mech suit again? Can't he just, turn into a rockle? I'm like, yeah, I just realized that. Why do you need a mech suit? You are your own mech suit. I feel like the show just forgot that Cole can do that. Yeah. So Dorama is defeated and driven back to, he's driven back to the authorities by the freed captives. So that's it for Dorama for a while. And that's it for the puppet robot. And Zane uses Dorama's Imperium tech to update his map and find Mysterium. Apparently, Mysterium also contains a monastery of Spinjitzu. So yeah, that's interesting. That's something that is going to be current throughout the whole series, is that they keep finding monasteries of Spinjitzu in all these different lands. So it's like what are these all doing here? But the ninja use them to constantly get around very fast because of the portal gates. So each portal gate leads to another monastery. It's almost like a video game, fast traveling in a video game, which leads you to believe that we could get a really, really, really cool open world Ninjago Lego video game. But why haven't we gotten one? Come on. TT Games is making Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Make Lego Ninjago Into the Merged Lands or something. I like that the ninja storyline for this episode was more character focused, while the Mysterium storyline progressed a little bit more. Episode 7 is Fugitives from Madness. So Zane wonders why there are 3 different monasteries. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's something magical about the monastery that just split it apart so much, or maybe each realm had its own version of the monastery, and they were all they all used to be kind of connected to each other. I don't know. But Cole finds the cracks in the wall in the exact same place as their monastery. Oh, I recognize those cracks, which raises more questions. So I guess these are all copies of the same monastery. Cole references that he mentions that he misses Jay a lot, but then Gandalaria, the High Sorceress of Mysterium, appears, and she's wacky. Gandalaria, she's Bonzel's creator. She's like a witch right out of Witches of Waverly Place. Is it Wizards of Waverly Place? Yeah, Wizards of Waverly Place. She speaks like this, kind of. You're not here for something, are you? Janet? I mentioned somebody named Janet a lot. Who is Janet? I'm not sure if I can do a good impression of her or not. Gandhi. That's her nickname, Gandhi. She has a glowing ball called Sprite, which makes you think, wait, is Sprite not Master Wu? Nope, Sprite is Wu. Just looked it up on the wiki, and yeah, Sprite is just the nickname for Wu. Okay. Back with the other ninja, Aaron is lacking in confidence more than ever, which makes him even more relatable to me. So Wildfire continues to try to bond with Egalt. She makes a stew for him, as she knows that he has the wasting sickness. Yeah. So Wildfire, you can see the signs that Egalt is dying. It's a really nice scene, and like so she see like, oh, your scales are blackening and falling off. Yeah, she gives him the stew, and it does make him feel better. So it's a really good character moment for Wildfire, because you think that she's like this wacky character, but no, she has some actual depth to her beneath the wackiness. Also, who are her parents? Like, she's definitely from Imperium, but who are her parents? Are they dead? Like, cause she crashed and she was like she was a baby on board this crashing ship. Like, what is the origin of that? So like Rontu and Lloyd are having tea, and they discuss his visions, and Rontu tells him that Source Dragons have visions, and Lloyd's visions are like a fragment of them. Like, they're a fragment of that, so he like inherited that from the Source Dragons. And Lloyd wants them to stop. He does not like having these visions, but Rontu says that that Lloyd can learn to live with them and not fear them. So it's sort of like a lesson of acceptance. So Lloyd has another vision of things to come for the Blood Moon, and he sees that Ross will sacrifice someone, and that Cole and Zane are doomed. Like, they're gonna possibly be killed. Kai and Nia, they work together while trading, with Nia reminding him of how they would play a game called Countershock when they were kids, which leads to Kai turning into a fiery dragon, mastering the flying dragon technique. So he's like, train like we're playing video games together. So I thought that was cool. And so Kai becomes a third Fang ninja. Once again, I don't know what that means. It's meaningless to me. And Eagle is inspired by this, seeing like a human do the rising dragon technique. But then the Blood Moon rises, and then the dragons turn to stone. The Dragon Masters turn to stone, which shows that the ninja have run out of time. Like, they can't train anymore. They gotta stop Roz before it's too late. And so I'll remind you, like, this is episode 7. We got 3 episodes left, so they're really building towards an epic climax with this. They don't have a lot of time left, even though they have there's like an hour, like a little over an hour with the storyline. Gandalaria, Gandhi, I'm just going to say Gandhi, she usually thinks that the ninja are traveling magical slug merchants. Like, she's weird like that. And have come to give her ingredients, so she recognizes Bonzel. And this is actually a very sweet moment, because Bonzel was scared that she wouldn't Gandhi wouldn't accept her for what she was now. Which doesn't draw any parallels at all. Like, there's absolutely no messages about identity or thinking you're something when other people might think you're another, or any other social issues that a lot of people face today. No parallels at all. But Cole and Zane catch Gandhi up to speed, and she agrees to help them. But first, she needs to get some stuff from her shop in the Wyldness. But then the administration knocks on her door, looking for Zane, who they consider equipment. Well, that's kind of offensive. He's not equipment. He's a person. Even if he is, an android or an android, but whatever. So Zane, to buy them time, he starts throwing rules at the administration agents, like you can't do this without article something something something, or a form from article blah blah blah. Like, he memorized all these rules, and he starts using that to his advantage. So the agents have to keep going back to the administration to get these forms filled out. Gandhi, she fires up her crystal ball and attacks the agent. She has this crystal ball that shoots out coconuts and fruits and other weird stuff because it's kind of broken. But then as Bonzel and the Sprite are escaping through the back door or whatever, Agent Jay Walker appears and corners them. So Jay is back. And that's how the episode ends, and Secrets of the Wyldness, episode 8 begins. So the ninja who aren't facing the administration right now, they're panicking because they don't think that they're ready to fight Lord Ross. Then Lloyd gets another vision of the future and figures out that Lord Ross is going to perform the ritual in the Wyldness. The fight between Zane, Cole, and Gandalaria and the agents continue. As I said before, her crystal ball is kind of weird. So while lightning usually comes out of Gandalaria's crystal ball, the occasional onion and crystal ball also comes out. I said I think so. That's what I wrote out. That a crystal ball will come out of the crystal ball. If that doesn't happen, whoops! I made an oopsie with my notes. But even Agent J, refers to Zane as equipment. So which infers that he doesn't remember him. So that's their first hint that Jay has amnesia. And I just want to say that Jay looks good in a suit, in the administration suit. And he even admits that he doesn't remember what he used to do before the administration. Sprite or Wu, shows Jade that he used to be a ninja. Like this vision appears, and Jay, like, he knows he can control lightning, but is keeping it a secret from the administration. So Sponzel and the Wu sprite, they escape, and Jay also runs away. And once again, nobody who knew Jay other than Wu, I guess, realized that Jay was even around. So Jay once again misses his friends just by that much. So Cole's fighting the agent's mechs with his mech, once again forgetting that he could just turn into a golem. Seriously, what was the point of the golem thing if you weren't going to show him doing it again? Also, like, one of the agents for the administration is a cyber ninja from Reuploaded, and it can talk. So, like, I really wonder how that cyber ninja became a member of the administration and learned how to talk. So the fight goes on. We get some cool stuff like Zane hacking into the mechs and causing them to all self-destruct. He tries to, but he fails, and he powers down as a mech stabs him in the back, or a mech stabs his mech in the back, the one that he took over. And Gandhi helps reboot Zane with her magic, so magic crystal ball, and he's able to successfully hack into the mechs and ejects all the agents and blows them up. So it's like, we can't kill the agents, so just eject them out of there. And also, there's a scene where Dragon Jiro, where he's standing over an agent, and I think the implication is that Jiro eats the agent. So Jiro can eat people. That's concerning. So they reunite with Bonzel and escape, and they come across the Cloud Kingdom. Ross and the Cloud Kingdom appear, so they have to hide. And in the Cloud Kingdom, Jordana uses her magic that she's been learning for the season to stop Destiny's Bounty from getting closer. Aaron, Ryu, Nia, and Lloyd, they all fall off the ship because of the magic, so Kai, Sora, and Wildfire are the only ones left on it. And if they weren't Lego figures, they'd be dead from the crash. The Destiny's Bounty crashes, but luckily, Legos can survive anything. So Lloyd and Nia land in a tree, which harmlessly breaks their fall, because we know that's how that works in real life. Aaron is saved by Ryu, even though he was also about to land in a tree, so he should have been safe. Yeah, it looked like he was about to land in a tree, so if Lloyd and Nia weren't harmed, then I don't think Aaron would have been harmed. So, Ryu with Aaron he falls in style to safety. That's a Toy Story reference. And just as the Destiny's Bounty tips over, Kai is able to get his mech and save Sora and Wildfire, from tipping over into this chasm. So, rip Destiny's Bounty again. Yeah, they'll just build a new one. How many Destiny Bounties have they gone through over the course of the whole franchise? Also, a funny thing is that Lloyd and Nia are falling out of the tree this whole time. They keep hitting branches on the way down. It's how high were they up, and how did they not have broken bones? But the ninja all start heading towards the blood moon, after they get their footing, so they can save the world. So Zane, Cole, and Bonzel and Gandhi, they sneak into Gandhi's tiny storage house, which is bigger on the inside, like in the Harry Potter universe. The thing about Mysterium is that it's like a fantasy world, like a magic fantasy world. So it contrasts very much with Ninjago's usual style. I think that's why I like it, because with Ninjago Dragons Rising, the creators get to try all these new cool stuff. So they get in for the wolf masks, find them. Like I said, Gandhi always complains about her arch rival Janet, and it makes me wonder if we'll ever see her in the series. I think it's season 2, season 3, we never meet her. I like that Gandhi seems to genuinely love Bonzel like a supportive parent. So, but they put Bonzel in a box to keep her safe, and it's the box that she's in Lloyd's vision. And they start a spell to protect her, but something in the spell goes wrong, with Thyroxian runes appearing on the box. So it turns out that Jordana is behind this and puts an energy shield over Cole, Zane, and Gandhi, because her and her men were they were waiting for the ninja to start the spell. And I love that none of them, Cole, Zane, and Gandhi, Bonzel, none of them knows who Jordana is, though I'm not sure if they've ever faced her before, but that angers her. And Jordana takes Bonzel away, and that's how the episode ends. It's like, they're all trapped while Ross is one step closer to bringing the Forbidden Five back. Episode 9, titled The Forest of Spirits. Ooh. We get a flashback to young kid Roz hanging from a branch and falling into a pit. He's scared until a glowing gold light appears. So, what is that? It's like it reminds me of Wu, in his sprite form. So I wonder if there's like a connection there. But then in the present, Ross, so he's done thinking back on his past. And he begins the ritual. With the Thyroxian text translated, Ross orders the Cloud Kingdom and the Riders of Destiny to be destroyed. So they're going to sacrifice the 5 monks. Kai, Sora, and Wildfire, they climb out of the pit that they were trapped in Kai's mech suit. And they meet wolf masks and fight through them. I just want to say that Wildfire's heat blasts are awesome. I don't know, I just like the look of them. There's an instance where Sora kicks a wolf mask to their death, and I think they fall into the pit. I'm like, oh, well, they're dead. Did Ninja have a no-kill rule or something? I don't know if they do or don't. So Kai, Sora, Wildfire, they take wolf mask disguises, and so they can blend in. And Wildfire actually realizes that her leg is healed from resting it. So it's like, oh, I guess there is, good in actually resting your leg. So they infiltrate the ritual in their disguises. And so while this is happening, Lloyd and Nia are running to the Blood Moon when Lloyd receives another vision of the future. And at the same time, Jordana is struggling to control the box that Bonzel is in. Before getting her in her vehicle. And I remember, Jordana insults Bonzel, calling her a spell. And, by calling Bonzel a spell, it has parallels to calling somebody, a slur. Because Bonzel does not identify as a spell. She was created as a spell, but she identifies as a person. As a living person. And she wants people to see her as a living person. So, by saying, oh, you're just a spell, to me it sounds like a slur. So, Zane is able to overload the electric wall that's trapping him, Cole, and Gandhi. So they are able to escape, but the main door is locked from the outside, so they try other secret ways out, but all of them have been tampered with by funny spells. I mean, they come across, these lava tides, which are shown to be dancing with the disco toaster, what are they even doing in Gandhi's workshop? Yeah, Gandhi's looking for a solution to their escape, and like I said, there's a lot of Harry Potter inspired imagination going on here. Gandhi finds an instant opener spell, which is exactly what they need, and almost immediately accidentally breaks it. Luckily, Zane was hit with this shrinking growing spell, so he is able to slip under the door and open it from the other side. And they're able to find the Cloud Kingdom and climb this anchor that's putting it in place to the top. So they're gonna defeat all the wolf masks that they're keeping the rest of the Cloud monks captive. And then Aaron and Ryu, they're trying to find the ritual when they see Jordana drive by, and they decide to follow her. And Ryu finally learns to fly. At least that's what my notes say. So, like I said, that's why I might have stated some confusion over whether Ryu could fly or not. And once again, nobody can remember Jordana's name. Aaron's like, who are you again? It's a very funny running gag. Aaron and Ryu, they're able to take over Jordana's vehicle and throw her out, and Jordana tries getting Bonzel as far away from the ritual as possible. So they turn the vehicle around or they assume that she's what's needed to complete the ritual. So Ross is getting ready for the ritual. Like, he's still getting ready for the ritual. Like, this whole episode, Ross is, like, getting ready for the ritual, like, small doses, almost. And, but Jordana tells him that Bonzel has been stolen, so he personally goes after Aaron. He catches up with Ryu and Aaron and easily defeats them, which it gives him a much better showcase of Ross's abilities as a fighter than the time he fought Aaron and Sora, like halfway through season 1, when Aaron and Sora just, they mopped the floor with him, and it was like, well, how are those two kids defeating this guy? Also, I made a comment saying that, Aaron's mask has spikes on it, so, like, why doesn't he use that to, like, poke Ross's eyes out? Like, ah! That could be useful. Ross, like, after defeating Aaron, he tells him that he's weak, but that when he was young, his master taught him that the important thing in the world is strength. Like, the most important thing in the world was strength. And that's why I am what I am today. So Ross takes Bonzel in the vehicle into the ritual, and I guess at this point, I gotta say that Bonzel's character arc has been very good, because I am genuinely scared for her safety regarding the ritual. And the 10th episode and the final episode of season 2, part 1 is called Rising Ninja. I guess Aaron's half conscious when Nia and Lloyd find him, and he mistakes them for his parents initially. Yeah, and the storyline with Aaron's parents is something I kept flip-flopping, because it's okay, they bring it up enough, where it's not just something it's not like they bring it up once an episode, but at the same time it's well, they don't progress it enough where I'm kind of interested in it, because okay, where's his parents? They're not really any closer to finding him, so it's it's just more questions than answers. But I just want to say that I was satisfied by the end of that storyline, which I think is kind of continuing in season 4. But moving back to Rising Ninja, Kai melts the shackles off the Cloud Monk's wrists, and without hurting them somehow. It's how does that not burn their skin? The gong is hit, and everyone wearing a wolf mask, including Kai, Sora, and Wildfire, are powered up. It's just weird to me that, that Kai, Sora, and Wildfire, they get some of their goodness destroyed. Yet that's never something that really affects their characters in later seasons. They bring it up with another character. No spoilers there. But they never bring it up with Kai, Sora, and Wildfire. Yeah, so Cole, Zane, and Gandhi, they free the other Riders of Destiny, and try to stop the Cloud Kingdom from crashing. So Cole uses his mech suit, once again, forgetting he can turn into a golem. Why did you introduce that? Once again, why did you introduce that if you were never going to use it again? Then again, I guess that's a lot of stuff that gets introduced in Ninjago, where we introduced this great weapon or this great power, and then we just forget about it, a season or 2 later. So, it's par for the course. I just want to say that the show is really milking those mech suits right now. And so Gandhi uses her size changing spell on Zane again, so they can hold a mechanism in place. And you gotta factor in the growing shrinking part somehow. And back on the ground, Ross starts reading the scroll for the ritual as Wildfire takes off her Sora and Kaya's wolf masks. So I guess it's no big deal. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that there's no real storyline about Wildfire, Kai, and Sora, trying to get some of their goodness back, or trying to fix the goodness inside them, however you want to say it. So Kai and Sora fight wolf masks in the mech suits, once again mech suits, as Wildfire blasts them. Sora's able to, she's able to cage Cinder in this, this laser cage. But then Wildfire frees the monks. Sora gives Kai a mecha arm, which is a good callback to previously when Sora took Kai's mecha arm in a training battle. So, but as Ross finishes the incantation, turning Bonsal back into a spell and opening the gateway, the sacrifices escape and Kai's mech is deactivated, so the ritual is incomplete. But Lloyd, Nia, Aaron, and Ryu arrive just in time as Cinder breaks free, knocking Sora down, and the ninja try to stop him from grabbing a wolf mask, but he ends up just taking one off of a knockdown soldier. I'm disappointed that we don't see what the wolf masks look like, under the wolf masks. Like once again, who are these people? They're like cultists or something? So Cinder activates his Shatter Spin as Kai activates his Rising Dragon technique again, and Lloyd and Ross, they're fighting, and Ross uses Kai's soul by pushing him into the gateway, releasing one of the Forbidden Five, whose name is Noct. So I guess they don't really kill the sacrifices. They just trading a person for a person. You throw one person to the gateway, somebody's able to come out. But anyway, Kai is gone. He is trapped in that, prison now. Euphoria helps Zane and Cole keep the Cloud Kingdom from crashing. She's using her wind powers. And Nia uses what she learned to, during her training to finally do Rising Dragon technique and fight Noct. And, Rising Dragon technique is honestly pretty cool, but it seems like almost like a video game move. So they just launch up and then they come down like in a blazing in a burst of energy, kind of like something out of Dragon Ball Z. And I just realized that the dragon forms, that's something that the ninja could do, is that they could make their own dragons for a little while, and they just forgot that the ninja can make their own energy dragons. So I guess the Rising Dragon technique is them making energy dragons again, but as a body missile, oh, I'm launching myself at you in the form of a dragon. That didn't hurt me at all. Lloyd has another vision, but instead of letting them scare him, he lets them come. He stops being afraid of the visions, and that inspires him to finally do Rising Dragon technique himself. So everyone's learning Rising Dragon technique finally. And then Jordana tries keeping the gateway open, but the spell, Bonsal is fighting with her and gives Kai advice on the other side. So she's contacting Kai while he's in prison. In a moment of desperation, Sora uses her elemental powers to make Aaron think that he gave a mech fist spinjitzu, to give him more confidence. So Aaron, he tries transferring his spinjitzu to a mech suit fist, and then Sora powers it with her elemental power. So Aaron's like, "Yes, I did it." And Sora's like, "Yeah, of course you did." So the gateway is closed, but something enters Jordana. Something from the gateway possesses her. With no other choice, Ross calls his master for aid. He calls up to the heavens or whatever, and suddenly he knocks Cinder, Jordana, and all the wolf masks, and the Shadow Dojo just disappear in a golden light. So they're just gone. Just disappear. And the blood moon passes, and the Dragon Masters break out of their stone prisons or stone forms. Ross knocks Cinder, Jordana, and the wolf masks and the Shadow Dojo. They end up in this field, and Ross uses a device to force Noct's loyalty. He puts a device on the back of his neck, so it kind of enslaves him. So I guess he's not all that powerful if someone like Ross can just take control of him. And something is clearly wrong with Jordana. She's not acting like herself. Then Ross is contacted by his master again and mentions something called the Tournament of Sources. Lloyd reunites with Cole. Finally, they hug because they haven't seen each other in quite a few years. But the ninja's victory is bittersweet as Bonsal and Kai are gone. But Aaron has his confidence back. As Season 2, Part 1 ends with Kai and Bonsal in the prison realm trying to find a way to escape. I really liked Season 2, Part 1. I felt like the pacing was very good with and character focused with with characters trying to figure out a new way to like earn their true potential, on their quest for eternal self-improvement. Is that I take it, with trying to find a new way to defeat the villains and Shatterspin. I liked a lot of the new characters that were introduced, like Egalt and Rontu and Gandhi, especially Gandhi. It never felt like there was really a dull moment this season, or this part. Like the season's not over, like it's really halfway through. I don't think there's any noticeable critiques that I have about this, other than I kind of wish that the wolf masks, like those minions, like had a bit more personality to them. But I do like that this quest brought them all over the realms, like Mysterium. Like Mysterium was this cool fantasy realm, so can't wait to see more. I couldn't wait to see more of that in season 2, part 2, and all season 3. The one critique, I guess, is maybe just a bit over reliance on mech suits in a show called Ninjago. I wasn't expecting so many mech suits, but once again, you gotta sell your toys. I also like that Jordana. She didn't do a lot this season, but I'm glad that she's still she's a recurring villain in this. And Ross, he became the main villain. He was the coolest villain in season 1. So I'm happy that he's now the main villain in season 2. And there's enough plot threads open to explore in season 2, part 2. See you then on the next video. Matt out.